Welcome to Delta Wave History, your sanctuary for functional, historical boredom. Our focus will remain on the historical, methodical, numerical, and the procedural. This allows your mind to unwind and drift into historical details. Please adjust your volume for a consistent, even tone. We aim for a predictable vocal rhythm, devoid of sudden shifts in pitch or intensity, designed to facilitate a state of tranquil observation and sleep, if you wish. Half of all residential buildings in the United States show visible mold or detectable mold odor. The number one killer of residential structures is not fire or wind, but trapped moisture. Modern building practices answer this with a plastic sheet stapled inside your walls. This vapor barrier traps water inside the very structure it is supposed to protect. Meanwhile, in Norway, wooden stave churches, built over 800 years ago, are still standing firm. They feature no plastic, no vapor barriers, and no modern HVAC systems running around the clock. 7 construction techniques that Scandinavian builders use daily have been completely written out of the modern building code. These precise methods kept structures dry, warm, and intact for centuries in the harshest weather on Earth. Tonight, we explore why modern houses rot from the inside out, while ancient timber endures. Technique number 1 is the self-tightening corner joint. Walk into any modern construction site, and you will see wood nailed together, corked and sealed with expanding foam. Every single one of those artificial seals will inevitably degrade, crack, or shrink within a decade. Scandinavian builders solved this problem 8 centuries ago with a brilliant technique called lofting. They carved interlocking saddle-shaped notches into solid logs. The curve of one log sat precisely inside the curve of the log beneath it, requiring no nails or adhesives. As the wood dried and shrank over the first few years, gravity pulled the joints firmly together. The notch featured a pronounced wedge on the interior face that compressed downward as the log aged. The result was an airtight corner that actively improved with age, instead of falling apart. Technique number 2 is the living roof. Your standard asphalt shingle roof has a lifespan of about 20 to 30 years before requiring a costly replacement. Ancient Scandinavian builders used a layered roofing system documented since the 3rd century. They laid wooden roof boards across rafters, covering them with up to 16 layers of waterproof birch bark. On top of this natural membrane, they placed 4 to 6 inches of living grass and soil. This sod acted as a thermal regulator, trapping heat in winter and cooling the roof through evaporation in summer. Technique number 3 involves pine tar preservation. Modern pressure-treated lumber relies on harsh chemicals that actually corrode the metal fasteners holding your house together. You are essentially using a chemical preservative that attacks your own deck screws and joist hangers. Viking Age builders preserved their wood with pine tar cooked slowly in covered clay kilns. They brushed this rich, natural resin onto every exposed surface of their buildings and legendary ships. It penetrated deep into the wood grain, functioning as a flexible, antimicrobial shield against the elements. Technique number 4 relies on thermal mass walls. Modern stick-framed walls are merely cavities filled with fiberglass designed to temporarily resist heat transfer. A solid Scandinavian log wall did something modern insulation simply cannot do by actively storing heat. Acting as a thermal flywheel, the massive timber absorbed heat from a fire deep into its core. When the fire went out, the walls slowly released that stored energy back into the quiet room. A 50-year-old log home actually appreciates in thermal function as the wood settles and compresses. Technique number 5 is the kekalugen, or Swedish tile stove. In the 18th century, Sweden faced a severe firewood shortage because conventional iron stoves burned fuel too rapidly. An architect redesigned the traditional stove to burn wood at incredibly high temperatures for complete combustion. The true genius lay in the twisting exhaust path built into the masonry body of the stove. Instead of sending hot gases up the chimney, the design forced them through internal brick flues. These bricks absorbed the intense heat and radiated gentle warmth into the room for a full day on a single fire. Technique number 6 utilizes elevated foundations. Modern houses sit on concrete slabs that make direct contact with the damp earth. Moisture wicks up through that concrete, creating the perfect dark environment for basement mold to thrive. Traditional Norwegian storehouses were built on elevated wooden posts or stone stilts. This created an open-air gap beneath the floor, ensuring constant circulation that kept the underside perfectly dry. It effectively eliminated ground moisture and made it physically impossible for rodents to reach stored grain. Technique number 7, the master principle, is the breathable wall. Modern codes aggressively mandate plastic vapor barriers that inadvertently trap rogue moisture inside the wall cavity. Once water enters through a tiny crack or condensation, it cannot dry outward, causing hidden rot. Scandinavian log walls were completely breathable by design. Solid wood allows moisture vapor to pass through it slowly, constantly adjusting to seasonal changes in humidity. When the interior is humid, moisture safely migrates outward through the cellular structure of the logs. The entire wall system breathed effortlessly, working in perfect harmony with the laws of physics. The medieval Scandinavian builder with a broadaxe was solving problems your general contractor is still struggling to understand. We traded 1,000 years of proven, passive engineering for speed, cheap materials, and plastic sheets. The profound knowledge of these ancient builders is still available to those willing to look. As you drift off to sleep, consider the enduring strength of a building that breathes with the forest. The choice between working with nature or fighting it remains entirely yours. Discover more history by watching the next video. We're eager to share more with you. You can't go wrong. All our videos are deeply detailed, dull while fascinating, and distinctly sleep-inducing.